So good evening everybody, this is Rajdeep Bawlia and today I am going to present on my topic Shadows and Light, exploring Expressionism in the cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu, a symphony of horror. These are my academic details and presentation details. Table of contents. Introduction. So German expressionist cinema distorts reality using exaggerated visuals and symbolic imagery. So this style emerged as a response to post-war trauma, reflecting a nation's deep psychological scars through unconventional aesthetics. So the movement rejects naturalism in favor of surreal and emotionally charged scenes. So by emphasizing inner states over external reality, films evoke a world where every visual element speaks to hidden fears and hopes. Shadows and light are not mere elements but active conveyors of meaning. So the interplay creates moods that reveal underlying tensions and drive the narrative without relying on dialogue. And Caligari and Nosferatu stand as archetypes of this innovative visual approach. Their groundbreaking techniques set the stage for modern horror and cinematic storytelling by embedding symbolism into every frame. Here is my research question, that how do shadows and light function to intensify thematic depth and emotional impact in these expressionist films, with hypothesis that the deliberate interplay of shadows and light in the cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu, a symphony of horror, heightens the narrative tension and deepens the portrayal of psychological horror. Here are my literature review slides. So expressionist visual and aesthetics. So German expressionism rejects realism in favor of abstract and distorted imagery. So this aesthetic transforms everyday reality into surreal experience, challenging conventional perceptions with warped visuals. So the style features garish, unnatural colors, jagged lines and sharp contrasts. So such elements evoke heightened emotions, mirroring internal conflicts and psychological states through bold design. And the mise en scene, which is a French term for setting up a stage for any type of drama or film, is meticulously arranged to mirror the inner world of characters. So every set, prop and actor placement is designed to convey a mood and meaning, merging visual form with narrative content. And a dynamic interplay of light and shadow transforms static scenes into moving narratives. So the deliberate contrast elevates the storytelling, allowing visual cues to hint at deeper themes and hidden dangers. Then Chiaroscuro and the interplay of light and dark. So Chiaroscuro creates a dramatic contrast that heighten emotional tension. So by juxtaposing stark light against deep shadows, the films build suspense and underline themes of duty and conflict. And Murnau also utilizes expressionist tenets such as chiaroscuro to forebode Orlok's vampirism. So this technique not only defines the visual style but also foreshadows the malevolence lurking behind every dark corner. And sharp light contrast defined characters and their hidden motivation. So the interplay of illumination and obscurity offers visual clues to characters' inner turmoil and sinister intent. And this method transforms ordinary scenes into powerful and symbolic narratives. So light and dark become storytellers themselves, communicating emotions and conflicts without a single word. Then psychological reflection and atmospheric tension. So visual distortions externalize inner fears and unsettled psyches. So the skewed sets and exaggerated shadows mirror the characters' internal conflicts and societal anxieties. And the expressionistic elements produce feelings of anxiety and confusion. So this deliberate visual chaos creates an atmosphere that keeps the audience on edge, mirroring the characters' disturbed minds. And subtle shifts in lightning intensify an ever-present sense of dread. So variations in brightness and darkness work together to evoke a haunting mood that pervades every scene. And shadows serves as a metaphors for suppressed emotions and hidden terrors. So the careful balance between light and dark symbolizes the ongoing battle between hope and despair in human nature. Then the cabinet of Dr. Caligari's visual innovations. So Caligari introduces distorted architecture and surreal set design. So its twisted and unconventional environments dismantle normal perspectives, creating a world that is as unsettling as it is imaginative. And there are no right angles in Viennese Caligari. So everything in Caligari's universe is bent, twisted and distorted. So this radical design choice defies geometric norms, reinforcing the film's departure from reality and heightening its eerie impact. And even the actors appear to have been painted into the image. So the visual treatment blurs the lines between performance and art, enhancing the theatrical otherworldly feel of the film. And painted shadows and deliberate contrasts form a core part of its mise-en-scene. So every element is carefully crafted to evoke a sense of disorientation, to mirror the fractured psyche of its characters. Then Nosferatu's haunting shadow play. So Nosferatu employs shadows as active narrative devices. So shadows in the film are not just absence of light, they convey presence, menace and the supernatural in an almost tangible way. And Morno's vampire is represented in numerous shots by his enormous shadows falling over his victims. So this striking visual emphasizes Orlokos' predatory nature and reinforces the terror he embodies throughout the film. And the iconic image of the vampire shadow on the staircase, which you can see in this photo, cements the film's visual legacy. So such memorable scenes highlight the power of visual symbolism in evoking horror and setting a benchmark for future films. Then a strategic shadow play creates an omnipresent haunting ambience that lingers. So the pervasive darkness amplifies the narrative's eerie tone, making the unseen as threatening and also as what is directly shown. And in dramatic moments, Nosferatu becomes a shadow play where only silhouettes hint at hidden threats. So this technique leverages off-screen movement and fragmented visuals to suggest a malevolent force that intensifies the film's suspense. Then architectural distortions and set design. So expressionist architecture enhances the overall sense of discute and otherworldliness. So unnatural exaggerated building designs create an unsettling backdrop that mirrors the psychological disturbance of the era. And as one could see, many of the buildings at the top had very sharp and pointy tops, almost resembling that of a witch or sorcerer's hat. So this vivid imagery underlines the film's deliberate use of architecture to evoke a sinister and magical atmosphere. And deliberate set design orchestrates the interplay between light and shadow seamlessly. So every structural element is chosen to enhance the visual narrative, integrating the environment as a storyteller in its own right. And mise en scene unifies actors, props, and architecture into a cohesive symbolic framework. So the carefully crafted setting deepens the narrative by visually representing the internal states and conflicts of the characters. Then critique and consistency in visual style. So both films showcase innovative visuals yet invite critical scrutiny over technique consistency. So while their groundbreaking styles captivate, some choices raise questions about balance between artistic vision and clarity. So however, Murnau is inconsistent in his efforts with this. So use of light and shadow as a truly consistent application of the style would have rendered much of the film underexposed and difficult to view. So this critique highlights the tension between aesthetic innovation and practical filmmaking, prompting a debate on technical execution. So such critics provoke discussions on the limits and evaluation of expressionist aesthetics. So they remind us that even revolutionary techniques are subject to interpretation and technical constraints that influence overall impact. And the dialogue between visionary art and filmmaking practice remains essential in understanding these classics. So this ongoing conversation enriches our appreciation for the delicate balance required to evoke emotion and narrative through visuals. Then legacy and influence on horror cinema. So the innovative interplay of shadows and light redefined visual storytelling in cinema. So the techniques pioneered in these films set a new standard, influencing countless works in the horror genre and beyond. And shadows of Murnau and Wien can be seen and felt in nearly all horror films made since 1922. And so these their groundbreaking methods continue to inspire modern directors, embedding expressionist aesthetics into the fabric of contemporary film. And the fusion of atmospheric lighting with distorted visuals laid the foundation for film noir and psychological horror. So these visual legacies demonstrate how early experiments in shadow play persist as key narrative tools in modern cinematic language. And their artistic innovations bridge early cinematic experimentation with today's visual storytelling techniques. So this enduring influence reinforces the importance of expressionism as both a historical movement and a living, evolving art form. Conclusion. So unified visual language. So shadows and light merge to create a timeless aesthetic that transcends conventional storytelling. So the interplay of chiaroscuro and distorted visuals encapsulates the core of expressionist cinema, merging emotion and narrative seamlessly. And then innovative techniques. So expressionist experiments paved the way for modern cinematic styles in horror and film. And so the groundbreaking methods used in both films, Caligari and Nosferatu, continue to inspire contemporary filmmakers, establishing a lasting legacy in visual storytelling. Then symbolism and emotion. So every interplay of light and shadow serves as a metaphor for deeper psychological truths. So these visual cues not only intensify the atmosphere but also reveal the characters' inner conflicts and societal anxieties, enriching the narrative. And then lasting impact. The fusion of art and technique remains a cornerstone of cinematic evaluation. So the dynamic balance between aesthetic innovation and narrative clarity underscores the enduring influence on expressionist cinema on the broader film landscape. Here are the learning outcomes that so my view of visual storytelling has transformed, revealing how shadows and light embody deep emotion. So the exploration of these films had expanded my understanding of how visual elements can powerfully express interplay, conflicts, and mood. And I now appreciate the innovation role of expressionist techniques in shaping cinematic language. So recognizing the symbolic use of light and shadow has deepened my insight into how filmmaker conveys complex psychological narratives. Even in the film Bhul Bhulaiya, there is also a reference of Kathak dance, where also the use of expression is very important. And then exploring these classics has reshaped my understanding of historical and cultural context. And this study has inspired a renewed passion for analyzing the craft behind visual storytelling. So my personal insights now embrace the power of cinema as an art form that communicates both over overt narratives and subtle emotional truths. Here are my references. Okay, thank you for watching.